Today I'm going to be sharing with you my essentials as a harpist. So my number one essential is a tuner. Of course, as a musician, you want to make sure you're in tune. So this is essential. I always have it with me. Back at home, when I had my own harp, I always had a tuner in my harp bag. I had a tuner in the car, and I had a tuner on my little like bookshelf thing where I kept all my music. So I just had a ton of tuners. I was never without a tuner because you need a tuner. You want to be in tune, and harps go out of tune all the time. The second thing is a folding bench. So these are very useful. You want to make sure it's an adjustable folding bench. That way you can adjust it to however you sit so it's comfortable for you, because everyone sits at a different height. So whenever you're like gigging or moving your harp somewhere, you don't have to worry about sitting at a chair too low or too high. When performing, it's important to be comfortable, and so having a good chair that you are comfortable in is so much nicer. It's one less thing to worry about when you're performing. The next thing is Harp Shoes. These are my shoes that I use, and they're kind of wearing down at the heel. Not that bad. Harp shoes, practicing in your harp shoes is so good. It really helps. Like, I know it's annoying to practice in your harp shoes, but trust me, if you practice in your harp shoes, in the long run, you'll be much better with your pedals, more efficient, more comfortable, because you're used to playing in your shoes. When you perform, you're like, oh, it's nothing new. Next thing is extra strings. I always have them with me, but I don't have them with me right now because I don't have my own harp. But at home, I always had harp strings in my bag, carried them everywhere with me, always. And I didn't carry around a full set because that's a lot of strings. You know, there's a lot of strings on the harp. So I would just kind of keep track of which strings tend to break on my harp. At home, typically it was the A's and the E's. I don't know what it was, but my A's and E's always popped, and occasionally a B would pop. And it was always like in the middle upper range, and so I would always make sure I just had one of those strings on me, so that way if they popped I would be able to change it. This next one, I haven't met any other harpist who does this, but then again, I haven't met that many harpists. Quick story, my harp back at home, oh my gosh, wait, I can't find it. No way, did I seriously not bring it? Oh my gosh, I don't have it with me. I guess I left it back home. So I'll just show a picture of what it looks like here. So I used to carry this around me all the time. The little octagon, hexagon shape, I can't remember what shape it is. It would fit perfectly in the little screw on the pedal because my pedals would always get loose. And one time actually in rehearsal it fell off because that's how loose it got. And I was like, I don't know how to tighten it. I don't have the harp regulation kit. But this one came in a set from like IKEA, like a building set. And you know how like IKEA gives you tools? That's just what it was. And it was the perfect size for the harp pedal. And so I just used that. So this is the screw part that I was talking about. And so this would come loose, and so this pedal, this gold part, would always fall off on my harp. And so I just used that tool to like push it in here, and then I tighten this bolt here so that way this pedal is no longer loose. So that just helps me since my pedals always got loose, because you know you're always like pushing it up and down to like move it and pack it. So yeah, it just was like easy regulation on the go. The next thing I always have with me is a pencil. This is my current pencil. It's the Lion and Healy pencil. It's so great. A pencil is super helpful, especially when you're in orchestra and like the conductor says something, you can write it down. This next one, plan to do orchestra. Well, if you have a pedal harp, you should do orchestra because like you have the pedal harps to do orchestra. Like I highly recommend. But this book is by Sarah Bullen. It is the principal harp book. It has like not every single orchestra excerpt, but it has the main ones that are most common on orchestra auditions for harp. So she has like notes and she has all the fingerings, and like for the things like the swell neck cadenza, you know how like Tchaikovsky wrote them weird? She basically like wrote it out for how we play it, and so it's really nice. So super helpful. It's great for orchestra auditions. She writes out all the pedals for you, so you have to like go through your brain and figure it out. She writes out all the harmonics and stuff like that. So I highly recommend. The next one is a black dress and concert dress. So a black dress is for orchestra, and I like to be in a dress. You can wear pants if you prefer, but I make sure it goes down to my ankle because it's a little more professional. And I like when it's a little half sleeve, so I don't like it too short, but I also don't like long sleeve, so it's like right above my elbow, so I like that. And the same for my concert dress. It's actually the dress that I wore in my recital video. That is like my concert dress. I wear that to every concert that I perform in because I am comfortable in it. Next Next is a practice journal. So this is my practice journal. Keeping a practice journal helps kind of keep track of what you're doing so that each time you practice, it's like efficient, worth your time practice. I wish I did this in high school because it would have made me like a lot more organized with my practice, because in high school I like didn't have time to practice. I would only do like an hour a day. Every time I practice, I would just like target stuff that I thought I needed to work on the most, but it was really hard to keep track of my progress or remember like, oh, I was working on this and so I should do this today, you know. So it was just like kind of unorganized. But this, I write down what I want to work on during that practice, and then if I achieved that goal or not, and then the next time I practice I can look back at that and be like, oh, I didn't do this one that well, I'll do that today, you know. So it just kind of keeps me more organized and also more motivated. This is really great, especially if you like don't have time to practice. Keeping track of what you are doing in your practice will help you practice better the next time. Hopefully that makes sense. The next thing is kind of obvious. Just kidding, I don't know if it's obvious. It's obvious to me though. I always carry nail clippers with me. Nail clippers are so useful in case you forgot to cut your nails. I used to bite my nails because I didn't cut them, and so I started bringing nail clippers. That way I wouldn't be biting it and I'd just be cutting it, because one, it's healthier for your nails and healthier for you, because you shouldn't be putting your fingers in your mouth. Also, I like the nail clippers with this little like file thing here, because then you can like file down a callus, because like, I don't know if this is just my skin type, but whenever I callus, it kind of like, it gets really hard like a nail, and it like almost peels off, and so it sticks out. And so every time I'm playing, it will get caught on the string, and it's just so annoying, and it honestly kind of hurts. And so I would just file it down flat so it's a little softer, but it's still callus, so it's not like I'm removing the callus, but it's just like softening the edge of the callus. So yeah, it's like kind of like what weightlifters do, you know? And my last essential is a dolly. The dolly helps with moving the harp, and yeah. So yeah, those are my essentials that I cannot live without as a harpist. I use them all the time, except for maybe the concert dresses, but definitely those are still essentials. Okay, so I'm gonna go practice now. Thanks for watching.